Lately, politicians and journalists in the West keep voicing the same frustration. Why won't India pick a side? They're talking about India's stand on the war in Ukraine. India says it supports peace and feels for the people caught in the conflict, but it hasn't joined Western sanctions on Russia. It still buys cheaper Russian oil, while also working more closely with the US, Japan, and Europe in defense and technology. To many in the West, that looks like double dealing. To most Indians, it looks like common sense. The West expects countries to choose sides clearly: East or West, democracy or dictatorship. India's foreign policy has always been different. It's built on keeping balance and not on taking sides. Think of that friend at a dinner who refuses to sit at either end of the table. Instead, they sit in the middle and talk to everyone. It can annoy the host, but it also makes them important. The question now is sharper than before. India has always avoided picking sides. But is that about to change? When India became independent, it helped create the non-aligned movement, promising not to become a tool for either side in the Cold War. But non-aligned never meant doing nothing. India accepted weapons and training from the Soviet Union, while also welcoming Western business and education. Over time, that idea grew into what India now calls strategic independence. Work with everyone, but don't depend too much on anyone. Many experts call this a way of keeping options open, by building ties with competing powers at the same time. This wasn't just theory, it was survival. A big, new country in a tough neighborhood had to stay flexible. So whenever a global crisis happens, India's first question isn't, whose side are we on, but what's best for India? Now in 2025, that balancing act is facing its biggest test in years. First, the images. At the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Tianjin on 1st September 2025, cameras showed Prime Minister Modi chatting and smiling with Putin and Xi Jinping. In Washington and Europe, that looked like India getting closer to a China-Russia camp, just when the West had been trying to isolate Moscow. Second, the economy. In late August 2025, President Trump hit Indian exports with tariffs as high as 50%, saying it was punishment for India's continued imports of Russian oil. India's answer was direct. It will keep buying Russian oil if the price is right, because it helps control inflation for its 1.4 billion people. Markets reacted badly. The rupee dropped to record lows, and exporters grew nervous. The government began planning relief measures and searching for new buyers for Indian goods, such as medicines and chemicals. Third, the alliances. Even with the trade fight, India hasn't walked away from its Indo-Pacific partners. It's still active in the Quad, with the US, Japan, and Australia working together on technology, minerals, and maritime security. In early October 2025, India and Australia signed a new security deal that includes regular military talks and submarine cooperation. Around the same time, India and Russia started their Indra 2025 joint military exercise in Rajasthan, showing that defense cooperation between the two countries remains strong. Meanwhile, Indian state oil companies have started paying for some Russian oil in Chinese yuan instead of dollars to make transactions easier under Western sanctions. And India has announced plans to reopen its embassy in Kabul, turning its current mission into a full diplomatic post and re-engaging with the Taliban government. Put all of this together, and the picture looks mixed on purpose. Friendly photos with Putin and Xi, tough tariff battles with Washington, and close coordination with US allies in Asia. To outsiders, it may look confusing. To India, it's smart positioning. So, is this the moment when India finally chooses a side? Not really. India's main approach, keeping independence in foreign policy, is still in place. But the pressure is growing. US tariffs make staying neutral harder. Those friendly Tianjin pictures make it tougher for Western partners to trust India's balancing act. Still, India's basic goals haven't changed. Keep energy affordable by buying Russian oil. Keep up defense cooperation with the West to deter China. Don't let any single partner use trade or politics as leverage. That means small adjustments, not a big turn. India will likely negotiate with Washington for a way to reduce tariffs while opening selected markets. Continue buying Russian oil when prices make sense. Sell more goods to non-US markets to reduce risk. And join issue-based groups like the Quad in the Indo-Pacific and SCO BRICS for Eurasian and Global South discussions. Think of it like chess. Pawns move in one direction, but the queen can move anywhere. India still wants to play like the queen, flexible and strategic, but the board is getting tighter, and every move matters more. India's guiding rule remains the same. It acts in its own best interest. After the Tianjin summit, India and Russia confirmed that their special and privileged strategic partnership will continue. President Putin is expected to visit New Delhi in early December 2025 to meet with Prime Minister Modi and discuss trade, defense, and energy ties. On the US side, the tariff fight goes on. President Trump has threatened to raise tariffs again, but also suggested a tariff dividend, offering Americans $1,000 to $2,000 each from tariff revenues, a move that adds confusion to US policy. The new ambassador to India, Sergio Gore, met with Modi and other leaders in October 2025 to discuss trade, defense, and minerals. Analysts in India say that the message is clear. Be careful and rely on your own strength because US policies can change fast. Meanwhile, India is reopening its full embassy in Kabul. It has a new security pact with Australia. It continues joint military drills with Russia, and it's now buying Russian oil in yuan when needed. So will India stay neutral? Yes, but not out of emotion or friendship. It's a careful, thought-out choice. To Washington, India may look too friendly with Moscow. To Moscow and Beijing, India may still seem too close to the West. And that's exactly how New Delhi wants it. Balanced, flexible, and focused on what's best for India. The world will keep asking, whose side is India on? And India will keep replying through its actions, not words. We are on our own side. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, share it with a friend, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And until the next time we meet, stay curious, stay unaligned.